What school doesn't teach you? School is an integral part of our lives, and in many ways, it is where we learn the most essential information and skills. But there are some important life lessons that school doesn't teach us. This video explores important life lessons that are not taught in school, including financial literacy, self-care, and emotional intelligence. We'll discuss why these topics aren't taught in school and how to go about learning them outside of the traditional classroom. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of what school doesn't teach us and how to fill those gaps in your education. How to be an adult. Becoming an adult can be an intimidating process, but it doesn't have to be. What school doesn't teach you are the skills needed to handle the everyday tasks of adult life. It's not easy, but with the right knowledge, you can become a confident and independent adult. Here are the basics you need to become a confident and independent adult. Asterisk budgeting. Knowing how to create and manage a budget is essential for managing your finances as an adult. Learning to budget will help you keep track of your money and make sure you have enough for bills and other expenses. Asterisk time management. As an adult, you need to learn how to juggle multiple responsibilities while still making time for yourself. Making sure you have enough time to do everything is an important part of adulthood. Asterisk communication. Being able to effectively communicate with others is an important skill to master as an adult. This includes everything from having a polite conversation to negotiating for something you want. How to manage your finances. When you think of the things you were taught in school, managing your finances isn't usually high on the list. It's something that many schools don't teach, leaving students unprepared to handle their money in the real world. But that doesn't mean it's not important. Learning to manage your finances is an essential part of being an adult, and there are many tips and tricks that can help. The first step is to create a budget. Start by adding up your monthly income and subtracting your expenses. Make sure you include all expenses, even small ones like coffee or lunch. From there, you can determine how much you have left over each month that you can save or use for other needs. Once you have a budget in place, try to stick to it as much as possible and resist the temptation to overspend. Next, create an emergency fund. This should be an amount of money that you put aside for unexpected costs, such as medical bills, home repairs, or car trouble. Aim to save enough so that you have at least 3 months' worth of living expenses saved up. This will give you some financial security in case anything goes wrong. How to cook. Cooking is an essential life skill that many of us take for granted. Unfortunately, many schools do not teach us how to properly cook, which can leave us feeling intimidated and unprepared when it comes time to prepare a meal. This lack of knowledge can have a profound impact on our health, budget, and enjoyment of food. The good news is that learning how to cook is easier than you think. The first step to learning how to cook is acquiring the right tools. You don't need to invest in expensive kitchenware or ingredients right away. There are plenty of cheap and easy-to-find options available. Start by having basic supplies like cutting boards, knives, pots, pans, and measuring cups/spoons. You should also have some basic ingredients like flour, sugar, butter, salt, pepper, eggs, and other pantry staples. Once you have the necessary tools and ingredients, it's time to learn the basics. If you've never cooked before, start with simple recipes such as scrambled eggs, macaroni and cheese, or grilled cheese. How to do your taxes. Filing taxes is an important part of adult life, but what school doesn't teach you is how to do it correctly. To start with, it's important to gather all your relevant documents like your W-2, 1099s, 1098s, and any other financial statements that you've received throughout the year. You can then use a tax filing software or hire a certified tax preparer to help you file your taxes accurately. When filling out your tax return, make sure to double-check everything, and if you're not sure about something, ask an expert for help. When it comes to deductions and credits, it can be tricky to know which ones to include and the best way to maximize your return. If you're unsure, there are resources available online that can help you understand the process better. How to change a tire. It's a skill that often comes in handy, and yet it's something that many people don't know how to do, changing a tire. Unfortunately, this is one of the many skills that school doesn't teach us. Knowing how to change a tire is essential for any driver, so it's important to take the time to learn how it's done. First and foremost, it's important to have the right equipment on hand. You will need a jack, wheel chocks, and the lug wrench that came with your car. Make sure your car is parked on level ground and the parking brake is engaged. Loosen the lug nuts before jacking up the car. Once the car is jacked up, remove the lug nuts and wheel. Place the spare wheel on and secure it with the lug nuts, tightening them as much as possible. Lower the car and tighten the lug nuts again. How to interview for a job. Interviewing for a job is one of the most important skills a person can have in their career. Knowing how to effectively present yourself and your qualifications is an essential part of getting the job you want. Unfortunately, what school doesn't teach you is how to interview. Here are some tips to help you prepare for your next job interview. Research the company before your interview. Take the time to research the company, their mission, and their products or services. This will not only show that you are interested in the position, but also give you an advantage by demonstrating your knowledge. Prepare answers ahead of time. Think of questions that you might be asked, such as, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Or, why should we hire you? Make sure that you are prepared to answer these questions with confidence and clarity. How to write a resume. When it comes to job applications, one of the most important documents you can have is your resume. Unfortunately, this is one of those skills that school doesn't teach you. Writing a resume is a skill that you must learn in order to effectively market yourself and stand out among the competition. Here are some tips on how to create an effective resume. Start with a professional summary. The summary should be a brief, yet descriptive overview of your professional experience. It should also include your key skills, qualifications, and goals. How to network. Networking is an essential skill that many don't learn in school, and it's one of the most important skills you can have in the professional world. Networking is the art of building relationships with other people who are in your industry or profession, and it can open up many opportunities for you. One of the best ways to start networking is to attend industry-related events or conferences where you can meet other professionals in your field. This is a great way to make contacts and learn about different opportunities available to you. You can also reach out to colleagues or other professionals you admire and build relationships with them. How to use social media. Social media is an essential tool in today's society, and unfortunately, it's something that many schools don't teach you how to use properly. Social media has the potential to be a powerful networking tool, but if used incorrectly, can have a detrimental effect on your online reputation. Here are some tips on how to use social media effectively. Something that what school doesn't teach you. First, think about why you're using social media. Is it for professional reasons or personal reasons? Make sure your profile reflects this by creating separate accounts for each purpose. Next, be mindful of your privacy settings and who can access your profile. You should always be aware of who can view your posts and adjust your privacy settings accordingly. How to be an entrepreneur. Do you have an idea or passion that you'd like to turn into a business? The process of becoming an entrepreneur is challenging and rewarding, but it is something that is not typically taught in school. What school doesn't teach you about becoming an entrepreneur is how to make a business plan, market yourself and your products, and how to effectively manage your finances. Here are some tips for how to start your journey to become an entrepreneur. Make a business plan. To be successful in any venture, you need to know your goals, what steps you need to take to reach them, and the resources you will need. Make sure you clearly define your target market, understand your competitors, develop pricing models, and research potential sources of funding. Thanks for watching.